Should focus to some stock-specific action because a lot of stocks will be in focus on account of some brokerage action as well. And Sonal has prepared that list for us. She's joining us to run us through the key details. Good morning, Sonal.
Good morning, Anisha. Well, we have just 2 days to the budget and the usual suspect has to be ITC. So CLSA has written on ITC. They maintain a buy rating with a target price of 365 rupees per share. But they talk about the gross GST collection, which was lower and came in around 99,000 crore mark, lower by around 1,000 mark from the 1 lakh crore mark. And they say that it reflects the underlying economic slowdown, and until GST growth trend improves, concerns rise on the ITC stock as of now. Stock is attractive according to them, but it faces uncertainty due to a potential rise in cess. So that stock will be in focus. CLSA has written on the pharma sector. They say concerns on slowdown, substitution and policy threat, they are being overthought right now, and volume-led growth is something that everyone should be focusing on as far as the pharma sector is concerned. CS has written on Shriram Transport. They maintain a neutral call with a target price of 1100 rupees per share. They say that FY20 growth is expected to be back-ended because the group merger is not off the table yet, and they expect volume to pick up in the second half of the year due to the BS6 transition. HSBC has written on Aster DM. That stock has been in focus because of a lot of bulk and block deals. They say that the presence across segments support revenue and margins gain across the Middle Eastern markets, and growing presence in large cities should improve the margin profile for the particular company. Lastly, Tata Power, you will also speak about that. Well, Citi has written on the company. They say that power regulators may be barred from allowing regulatory asset creation, and company could be a big beneficiary of regulatory asset liquidation, and that's why they are positive on this particular company. Back to you.
All right, Sonal, thanks a lot for that. We will definitely keep an eye out on all those stocks on which brokerages have written. But as the southern state of Tamil Nadu faces an acute water crisis, the Cauvery board has asked Karnataka to release water to its neighbor state. CNBC-TV18's Mugdha Warrior spoke with DK Shivkumar, who's Karnataka's water minister, about this problem in Karnataka. Here's a slice of that conversation.
We have to fully agree the facts that there is no sufficient rain in Karnataka except in few parts of northern Karnataka. So I think we are trying our best. We have put a team of officers, and all our ministers has been advised to just go visit, make a review of the situation and see that the drought and the drinking water has been sorted out. And we have taken this seeding, cloud seeding also a part of our program. But this seed is very bleak this time. Last year we had a very big good rains, but we thought that this year also we'll have a good rains.
And how severe is the crisis in Bangalore, and is that what prompted the Deputy Chief Minister to make that statement last week that the government wants to, ban new construction for 5 years?
See, Bangalore has to be protected. Bangalore is a city which the country is being seen through Bangalore. The world is looking at India, and Bangalore is the opening for the entire country. And we have to protect. At what may cost, we have to protect the citizens of Bangalore. Today, as far as Cauvery is concerned, today not even the 10% of the water has been, the inflow is there. Last time we had about 7,600 cubic of water. Today, I could see a morning of record about nearly only 689 cubic of water is the inflow. And even at the storage point also, it is very less. It is almost not even 30% of the water. I could see that we have only, our capacity is, today level is 80. Last year we had 125. So today is 80. This is what. But at any point of time, we will not let down Bangalore. We will see that the Bangalore is being protected and the water is supplied to Bangalore. We doesn't want to harm the citizens of Bangalore as far as the drinking water is concerned. There is a loud thinking from the various sections that you can generate power anywhere. You can have solar power, you can have wind power, you can have any generate power. And the only source is that we can try to have Sharavati water to Bangalore for planning bringing drinking water in a pipe to Bangalore. And we are not being allowed to do this Mekedat, a balancing reservoir. We wanted Mekedat to come up. It helped, even Tamil Nadu also help us. That is a balancing reservoir.
And the Kaveri Water Management Authority has asked Karnataka to release 31 TMC feet water in July, provided there is adequate inflow. What is the government's stand on this?
No, definitely we will honor their commitment. If water is there, we don't want to keep. We don't want to go against the verdict of any authority. But I was very happy to place on record that very sensible decision the Kaveri Authority has taken place. They know that only if there is water we can release it.
Okay, let's now shift focus to the world of commodities, because the big headline coming in from there is the fact that crude had declined overnight by around 5%, though this morning it has recovered a tad bit. Manisha Gupta as always joins us for more. Manisha, of course, crude has stabilized this morning, but then there are these demand concerns that is keeping that under pressure.
Oh, well, absolutely. With the kind of data that we have been dealing with across world markets is not really positive. So the U.S. manufacturing activity has slowed down to the most in 3 years. We have seen weaker manufacturing data come in from much of Asia and Europe as well for the month of June. And that really brings about demand concerns. And the whole euphoria about the U.S. and China back to negotiating table hasn't really worked too long, because the agreement date is still not concrete. And the OPEC output cut, of course, was yet another thing that was a positive, but that was quite given and in line with what the market was expecting. And we did see a build-up in crude oil prices ahead of that OPEC meeting. With now that done and dusted and no surprises from there, you have seen some profit-taking come into the markets. So as you said, 4 to 5% of a decline is what we saw in both the crude varieties. Some buying right now because the sell-off was perhaps overdone. But I think it's consolidation from here on for the rest of this week for crude. What has jumped back again clearly has been the gold prices. We have seen a huge volatility into this one as well, 2% of a move on a daily basis. And this is after a very lackluster last couple of years that we've seen in gold. So back around those $1,400 per ounce mark, it is clearly about the concerns in the global markets, weak economic data, the way the treasuries really are moving around. So we have seen some opportunity buying, safe haven buying come back in case of gold. I think this is one sector that will continue to give you good performance for the rest of 2019 as well.
All right, Manisha, thanks a lot for that indeed. In fact, from the start of this month, gold has actually outperformed all the other asset classes as far as returns are concerned. But let's return to the F&O space. Now, yesterday was a decent move for our markets in the second half, especially when the Nifty conquered that 11,900 mark at a 3-week high for the index. And interestingly, we saw a lot of support in the first half of that 11,800 mark, between 11,800 to 11,850, and that's primarily because the 20-day moving average, which was earlier a resistance, is now proving to be a bit of a support. So that is something we'll keep an eye out on the lower end. The FIIs, they sold about 502 crores in the cash markets. The domestic gross volumes were on the lower side. A part of that could perhaps be attributed to the fact that a large part of Mumbai was shut yesterday because of rains too. But in index futures, there is some skimming off from the top by the FIIs, close to around 125 crore worth sale in index futures, 4,200 short contracts added, 1,800 long contracts added. What is really the standout of this series so far is the fact that the FIIs, they're buying puts. Yesterday too, they bought around 8,800 long puts. This compares with 3,800 long calls that they added. They bought puts for third day in a row. In fact, from the start of this series, the FIIs have bought 40,000 long puts, and this compares with just around 35,000 long calls that they've bought. For this week, the range is 12,000 call and 11,800, which have the maximum open interest. Yesterday, we saw a fair amount of writing at the 11,850 and 11,900 put. So let's see where we go. In terms of stocks, fresh shorts seen on Yes Bank, Balkrishna Industries and Strides.
Okay, Mangalam, thank you so much for that. But with that, we have come to an end of this edition of Power Breakfast. From the team, Mangalam and myself, thank you so much for watching.